Hello guys, welcome to the Anionegai What Ifs. Today we are gonna see, what if Goku and Gine, his mother, had met? If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. High above the earth, Goku had just emerged victorious after an intense battle with the fearsome Frieza. His body was battered, clothes tattered, and energy nearly depleted. He floated in the vast emptiness of space, panting heavily as he collected himself after the grueling fight. The stars twinkled in the distance, a tranquil contrast to the chaos that had unfolded moments ago. But even in his weakened state, Goku's senses were sharp and he couldn't help but notice a strange energy signature approaching rapidly. Confusion and curiosity crossed his battle-worn face. His thoughts raced, wondering if another adversary had arrived to challenge him. He clenched his fists, ready to defend himself once more if need be. The energy signature grew stronger, and Goku's eyes locked onto a small, unfamiliar pod descending from the cosmos. It landed gently on a nearby rocky outcrop, sending a plume of dust and debris into the air. The pod's hatch slowly creaked open, and a figure emerged. Goku squinted at the silhouette. It was a woman with Saiyan features, her jet black hair tied up in a neat bun, and her face adorned with a warm, welcoming smile. Her Saiyan battle armor was adorned with battle scars, and her eyes held a depth of kindness and understanding that instantly made Goku feel at ease. "Hello there," she said, her voice soft and melodious. "I'm Gine, and I think I might be your mother." Goku's eyes widened in disbelief. His mother? He had always been curious about his origins, but had long given up hope of ever meeting his family. He had been found by Grandpa Gohan as a baby and had no memory of his parents. The idea of having a mother standing there in front of him was entirely new and surreal. His skepticism and caution battled with the inexplicable warmth he felt from this stranger. His heart raced, and for the first time in a long time, a hint of vulnerability touched his usually unshakable demeanor. "Mother? Is this some kind of trick?" Goku asked, still unable to fully grasp the situation. Gine took a step closer, her eyes brimming with emotion. "No trick, Goku. I'm your mother, and I've been searching for you for so long." Goku couldn't help but be moved by her sincerity. He had always wondered about his family, and here, in this unlikely moment, the possibility of a connection was presented to him. A whirlwind of emotions coursed through him, and he found himself unable to speak. Gine's smile remained warm and compassionate. "I know this is a lot to take in. But I've missed you so much, my dear son." As Gine approached him, Goku slowly extended a hand to her, and she took it gently. The connection was immediate, the bond between mother and son forged in that simple touch. Goku felt a rush of emotions that were foreign to him, but undeniably powerful. Tears welled up in Goku's eyes, and he could only nod, still unable to find his voice. In that moment, the universe seemed to hold its breath, as if acknowledging the reunion of a mother and her son, long separated by fate. Gine embraced Goku, holding him close in a maternal, loving hug that he had never experienced before. For the first time in his life, he felt the warmth and tenderness of a mother's touch, and it was a sensation he would carry with him forever. As Goku and Gine held each other in a heartfelt embrace, a mix of emotions flooded over them. Goku had spent his entire life without any knowledge of his family, and now, in this extraordinary encounter, he had met his mother. Gine, on the other hand, had spent years searching for her lost son, and her persistence had finally paid off. Tears of joy glistened in Gine's eyes as she looked at her son, who had grown into a powerful warrior. Goku, still overwhelmed by the newfound revelation of having a mother, couldn't help but return her smile. It was a moment of pure connection and understanding. After a few moments, they broke their embrace, and Goku stepped back to get a better look at his mother. "I can't believe you're really my mom," he said, his voice filled with a mixture of awe and happiness. "I always wondered about my parents, but I never thought I'd get to meet them." Gine nodded, her smile never fading. "I know, Goku. It's been a long journey for both of us. I'm just grateful we found each other." Goku's friends had been watching the reunion from a distance, unsure of how to react. Vegeta, ever the skeptic, crossed his arms and scowled. "This is all very touching, but we've got more important things to worry about, like our next battle." Bulma, however, couldn't help but be intrigued by the situation. She turned to her husband, Vegeta, and said, "Vegeta, don't you think this could be a game changer? If Goku has a connection to his Saiyan heritage through his mother, it might help him unlock new potential." Vegeta's expression softened, but he maintained his stoic demeanor. "We'll see," was all he said. Gohan and Piccolo, on the other hand, had sensed the genuine connection between Goku and Gine. They both believed that this unexpected reunion had the potential to bring a new perspective to their group, one that might help them in their battles to come. Gine approached the rest of the Z fighters with a friendly and humble demeanor. She introduced herself and shared stories of her past, particularly her time as a Saiyan warrior on planet Vegeta. She spoke of her memories of Bardock, Goku's father, and the simple, happy moments she had shared with him. Her stories gave the Z-Fighters a glimpse into a side of the Saiyan race that had been largely overshadowed by their reputation for destruction and conquest. As the group listened to Jine's tales, they began to see a different side of the Saiyan race. They learned that not all Saiyans were ruthless warriors and that there was a sense of camaraderie and family even within the confines of their brutal society. Gohan, who had grown up in a peaceful environment and always struggled with the violent nature of his Saiyan heritage, found Jine's stories to be particularly enlightening. He approached her and said, "Your stories are helping me understand the Saiyan race in a new light, and I appreciate that." Jine smiled at Gohan's words. "Saiyans were more than just warriors, Gohan. We were a people with our own hopes and dreams. It's a side of our race that has been overshadowed by our history of conflict." Piccolo, who had trained with Goku for years and had witnessed his journey from a wild child to a hero, recognized the potential for this reunion to bring about positive change. "Perhaps," he said, "Jine's presence can help Goku tap into his Saiyan heritage in a way that balances his strength and his compassion." In the following days, Goku and Gine spent a lot of time together, catching up on each other's lives and sharing stories. Gine taught Goku some of the Saiyan techniques and fighting styles she had learned in her younger years. Goku, always eager to learn, embraced these new techniques with enthusiasm. Their training sessions were intense, and Goku found that Jine's approach to combat was different from what he had learned on Earth. She emphasized teamwork, strategy, and finesse, qualities that complemented Goku's instinctive fighting style. He was eager to incorporate these new elements into his repertoire, and he found that his bond with Gine grew stronger with each training session. The rest of the Z-Fighters had come to accept Gine as part of their group, even Vegeta, who had been initially skeptical. He couldn't deny the impact she was having on Goku and, by extension, their team. Vegeta began to observe her techniques and quietly implemented some of them into his own training, recognizing their value in making him a better fighter. As time went on, the Z-Fighters began to see the positive influence Gine was having on Goku's character. He had always been a kind-hearted and compassionate warrior, but Jine's presence further emphasized the importance of protecting and cherishing the bonds of family. Goku's motivations expanded beyond simply seeking stronger opponents. Now, he fought to protect those he cared about and the planet he loved. The reunion with Gine also had a profound impact on Goku's understanding of his Saiyan heritage. He discovered that being a Saiyan didn't mean he had to be a ruthless conqueror or a destroyer. Instead, he saw that being a Saiyan meant he had the potential to grow stronger, protect the people he loved, and bring out the best in himself. With Gine by his side, Goku's character and motivations continued to evolve. He was more focused on training, learning, and growing as a warrior, but he also valued the bonds he had formed with his friends and family on Earth. Gine had become a welcomed member of the Z-Fighters, her presence bringing a sense of unity and understanding that extended beyond the battlefield. She was a living connection to Goku's past, and her stories and training had transformed the way the team approached their challenges. As the weeks passed, Goku and Gine continued to train and bond, deepening their mother-son relationship. Goku found himself learning not only the physical aspects of being a Saiyan warrior, but also the mental and emotional facets that Gine embodied. He was becoming more skilled at understanding his own emotions and connecting with others on a deeper level. One day, while Goku and Gine were engaged in an intense sparring match in the remote wilderness, they sensed an unfamiliar energy approaching Earth. Goku broke off from their training and looked up at the sky, trying to pinpoint the source of the energy. "It's a ship," he said, his brow furrowed in concentration. "And it's coming this way." Gine, her Saiyan instincts alert, also focused on the approaching energy. "We should go back and inform the others," she suggested, concern in her eyes. Together, they flew back to Capsule Corporation, where the rest of the Z-Fighters were gathered. Goku's friends noticed the worry in his and Gine's expressions, and Piccolo spoke up, "What's going on? You two look like you've seen a ghost." Goku turned to Gine. "You want to explain, Mom?" Gine nodded, her expression grave. "I sense an energy approaching Earth, and it's not one that I'm familiar with. It could be an ally, but it's better to be cautious." The Z-Fighters quickly prepared for the arrival of this unknown energy, with Vegeta and Piccolo taking defensive positions, while Gohan and Bulma monitored the situation from a safe distance. Soon, the source of the energy came into view. A sleek, advanced spacecraft that descended gracefully and touched down near the Capsule Corporation compound. The hatch of the ship opened, and a tall, cloaked figure stepped out. Gine and Goku watched with heightened vigilance as the figure approached them. As it came closer, the cloak billowed, revealing a tall and imposing warrior with a muscular build, dark hair, and sharp calculating eyes. He had a distinct air of confidence and power that was impossible to ignore. Gine's heart raced as she looked at the newcomer. She had spent years searching for any surviving Saiyans and knew that the universe was vast. This could be an ally, but the Saiyans' reputation for violence and conquest had left her wary of their kin. The warrior stopped a few meters away from the group and scanned their faces. His gaze lingered on Gine for a moment and a hint of recognition crossed his features. He then turned his attention to Goku, sizing him up with a critical eye. "I've been searching for you," the warrior said, his voice cold and authoritative. "I am Raditz and I am your older brother, Kakarot." The declaration hung in the air and the Z fighters were left in stunned silence. Goku's eyes widened and he exchanged a bewildered glance with Gine. He had known about his brother Raditz from his conversations with Piccolo during their time training together, but the reality of meeting him was another matter entirely. Raditz continued, "Kakarot, you were sent to this planet as a baby, but you were supposed to conquer it for the Saiyan Empire. You abandoned your mission and our people to become a soft-hearted weakling earthling." Goku's friends bristled at the insult and Vegeta, always quick to react, stepped forward. "Who do you think you are, insulting Kakarot and his family?" he growled, his pride as a Saiyan warrior wounded. Gine took a step forward, placing herself between Raditz and Goku. "Raditz, I am Gine, Goku's mother. We don't want any trouble. We've moved beyond the Saiyan ways and have found a life here on Earth." Raditz eyed Gine with a mix of disbelief and suspicion. "Gine. Is that really you? I thought you were long gone." Gine nodded. "I escaped the destruction of planet Vegeta with Bardock's warning. I've been living on a distant planet, unaware of Goku's existence until recently." Raditz's gaze shifted back to Goku and he couldn't hide his astonishment. "You've been living among these weaklings all this time? Father would be ashamed of both of you." Goku, ever the optimist, tried to find common ground with his brother. "Look, Raditz, I've changed. I've learned the value of friendship and protecting the Earth. I don't want to fight you, but I won't let you harm innocent people." Raditz's expression hardened. "If you won't join me, Kakarot, then you're my enemy. I'll do whatever it takes to bring you back to your true Saiyan nature." Without another word, Raditz powered up and launched himself at Goku, initiating a fierce battle. Goku and Raditz clashed in a whirlwind of punches and energy attacks, their conflict echoing through the skies. Gine, still positioned between the two brothers, couldn't help but feel torn. She had only just reunited with Goku and now she was witnessing a battle between her son and her older child. It was a painful and complex situation. Gohan and Piccolo joined the fray to assist Goku, their combined efforts pushing Raditz to his limits. Even Vegeta, begrudgingly, recognized the danger Raditz posed and grudgingly lent his strength to the battle. The fight was intense, but it soon became clear that Raditz was outmatched. Despite his superior power, the teamwork and newfound strength of the Z fighters proved to be too much for him. In the end, Goku managed to hold Raditz in place and Piccolo unleashed a powerful special beam cannon, piercing through both brothers. As Raditz's body disintegrated, he uttered his final words, "You're a fool, Kakarot. You've chosen these weaklings over your own blood. But you'll see, our true Saiyan heritage will prevail." The battle had come to a somber end and Goku and Gine stood silently, their hearts heavy with the weight of the conflict. Gine couldn't help but feel a deep sense of loss, knowing that her son and his brother had been torn apart by their conflicting paths. As the Z fighters regrouped, Gine approached Goku, her eyes filled with empathy. "I'm sorry, Goku. I didn't want you to have to fight your own brother." Goku shook his head, his expression resolute. "It's okay, Mom. We did what we had to do to protect our home and our friends." The Z fighters took a moment to reflect on the battle and the challenges they faced. Raditz's arrival had been unexpected and it had forced Goku to confront his Saiyan heritage once again. But the battle had also solidified the bonds between Goku and his earthly family and friends. They had come to realize that their strength lay not only in their individual abilities, but in their unity and determination to protect the planet they loved. As they watched Raditz's spacecraft disappear into the sky, Vegeta, still processing the events of the day, muttered to himself, "This is a reminder that the Saiyan legacy is not easily escaped. We must remain vigilant." The Z fighters understood that their battles were far from over and the challenges they faced would continue to test their strength and resolve. But as long as they stood together, they believed they could face any threat that came their way. In the aftermath of the battle with Raditz, the Z fighters returned to Capsule Corporation, their emotions running high. Goku was particularly affected by the encounter with his older brother, Raditz, who had tried to bring him back to his Saiyan roots. The conflict had stirred up a mix of emotions and questions within him. Gine approached Goku, sensing his inner turmoil. She placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Goku, I know this was difficult for you. Meeting Raditz brought back a lot of memories and emotions. But remember, you've grown into a strong, kind-hearted warrior, and you have friends who support you." Goku nodded, his expression thoughtful. "You're right, Mom. I've come a long way and I don't regret the path I've chosen. But I can't help wondering about our Saiyan heritage. Is there a way to tap into that power without losing who I've become?" Gine smiled, understanding Goku's desire to explore his Saiyan potential while remaining true to himself. "I believe there is, Goku. Saiyan power can be harnessed in a way that doesn't require you to sacrifice your kindness or compassion. Let me teach you some techniques that can help you do just that. Excitement sparkled in Goku's eyes as he eagerly accepted Jine's offer. He had always been a passionate learner, and the prospect of discovering new ways to grow stronger without losing his sense of self was an opportunity he couldn't resist. Over the following days and weeks, Goku and Gine began their training together. Gine shared her knowledge of Saiyan techniques and fighting styles, emphasizing their connection to their emotions, control of their energy, and the balance between strength and compassion. One of the techniques Gine taught Goku was the Saiyan Zenkai boost. She explained that Saiyans had the unique ability to become significantly stronger after recovering from near-death experiences. Instead of being a ruthless conqueror, Goku could utilize this ability in a more controlled way. Gine helped Goku focus on achieving Zenkai boosts through intense, but controlled, battles, pushing his limits without putting his life at risk. Gine also introduced Goku to the concept of Saiyan focus, a state of heightened concentration where emotions, energy, and movements were perfectly synchronized. This allowed Goku to fight more efficiently and tap into his inner power without losing control or descending into mindless aggression. As Goku absorbed these teachings and integrated them into his own fighting style, he began to feel a profound shift in his abilities. He could sense the ebb and flow of his energy more keenly, control his emotions more effectively, and push himself to new limits without losing sight of his compassion and humanity. But training with Gine was about more than just techniques. It was a chance for mother and son to bond on a deeper level. Gine shared stories of her time as a Saiyan warrior on planet Vegeta, her fond memories of Bardock, and the values they had cherished amidst the chaos of their society. Goku, in turn, shared stories of his adventures on Earth and the friends he had made along the way. Their conversations often revolved around the idea of balance, finding a way to be true to their Saiyan heritage while embracing their earthly bonds. Gine's wisdom, coupled with Goku's eager enthusiasm, allowed them to find that balance. They trained under the open sky, their sparring matches not just about physical combat, but a merging of their experiences and perspectives. As Goku's training progressed, he found himself growing stronger and more confident. He was able to tap into the power of a Saiyan without losing his sense of self. His friends and fellow Z fighters noticed the change in him as he displayed a newfound calmness and control during battles. Gine's presence had not only strengthened Goku, but also left a lasting impact on the rest of the Z fighters. They had come to understand that the Saiyan race was not solely defined by their history of destruction and conquest. Gine had offered them a glimpse into the less explored, more human aspects of the Saiyan culture, and this understanding changed the way they viewed their Saiyan heritage. Vegeta, who had long been obsessed with proving his Saiyan superiority, began to question the path he had been on. He found himself at odds with his own character, torn between the brutal nature of his race and the newfound wisdom he saw in Goku's training with Gine. Gohan, who had always grappled with his Saiyan heritage, began to accept that he could embrace his roots without becoming a ruthless warrior. He had come to see the importance of balance, as demonstrated by Goku and Gine, and he felt more at peace with himself. Piccolo, who had trained Goku for years, recognized the value of this balance in his student's growth. It allowed Goku to push his limits while still upholding the values he held dear. Piccolo couldn't help but respect the transformation he witnessed in his pupil. The Z fighters, as a whole, had become a more tightly knit group, bonded not only by their shared battles, but by their shared understanding of the Saiyan race's complexity. They had come to see the potential for good in Saiyan power, and they learned to harness that power without losing sight of their humanity. Gine's influence continued to shape Goku's character, giving him the tools to become an even more formidable warrior and a more compassionate human being. As they sparred and trained under the open sky, mother and son continued to deepen their bond, and their journey of self-discovery and growth showed no signs of slowing down. Gine's presence had a profound impact on the Z fighters, gradually reshaping the way they viewed the Saiyan race. While they had initially associated Saiyans with violence and destruction, Gine's stories and her training with Goku offered a different perspective, a more humane and balanced approach to the Saiyan heritage. Vegeta, ever the prideful warrior, had always carried the weight of his Saiyan bloodline and its history. However, witnessing Goku's transformation through training with Gine had started to plant seeds of doubt in his mind. He couldn't help but question the path he had been on, one that had led to brutality and an unquenchable desire to prove his superiority. One evening, while the Z fighters gathered at Capsule Corporation, Vegeta approached Gine with a mixture of curiosity and reluctance. "Gine," he began, "I've watched Goku's growth, and I can't deny that his power and control have improved. Tell me, is there a way for me to harness my Saiyan heritage without losing my humanity?" Gine regarded Vegeta with understanding. "Vegeta, Saiyan power is not inherently evil. It's about finding the balance between strength and compassion. I believe you can achieve this balance, but you must be willing to change your perspective and embrace it. Vegeta's thoughts raced as he considered Gine's words. He had long been obsessed with proving his Saiyan superiority, which had led him down a path of ruthless conquest and destruction. But now, he saw the potential for a different path, one that allowed him to grow stronger, while also valuing his connections to Earth and its people. Over the following weeks, Vegeta began to train with Gine, exploring the techniques and philosophies she had shared with Goku. It was a challenging process for the Saiyan prince, who had to confront his own ego and redefine his perspective on strength. As Vegeta trained and contemplated his place within the Z Fighters, he started to change. His brutal and prideful nature began to soften, replaced by a growing respect for his comrades and a desire to protect those he cared about. He found himself building genuine friendships and bonds that transcended his Saiyan pride. Gohan, who had struggled with the violence of his Saiyan heritage and the expectations placed on him as Goku's son, also experienced a transformation in his perspective. The understanding he gained from Gine and her training with Goku allowed him to accept his Saiyan nature without rejecting his more peaceful inclinations. One day, while Gohan was training with Goku and Gine, he expressed his thoughts. "Gine, I've always had trouble reconciling my Saiyan heritage with my desire for peace. But your presence has shown me that it's possible to embrace both aspects of who I am." Gine smiled at Gohan's revelation. "Gohan, your ability to find balance is a strength, not a weakness. You can be a powerful warrior without losing your compassion." Piccolo, too, continued to witness the growth of the Z Fighters and the positive influence of Gine. He couldn't help but appreciate the way Gine's teachings had allowed Goku and the others to become stronger while holding on to their values. He knew that the balance they were achieving would serve them well in the battles to come. With each passing day, the Z Fighters continued to evolve, not only as warriors but as people. They found that the perspectives they held on their Saiyan heritage had expanded, allowing them to see the potential for good within their power. The unity and camaraderie that had always defined the Z Fighters were now reinforced by a deeper understanding of their Saiyan roots. As they trained and fought together, the Z Fighters embraced their new outlook on strength and power. They recognized that their unity and values were their greatest assets, and they were prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Gine's presence had served as a catalyst for these changes, and her legacy continued to shape the path of the Z Fighters. While they had come to terms with their Saiyan heritage, they understood that it was not about embracing violence and conquest. Instead, it was about finding the balance between their strength as warriors and the compassion that made them true heroes. The Z Fighters had come a long way in their journey of self-discovery and growth, thanks in part to Gine's influence and teachings. Their perspectives on their Saiyan heritage had evolved, allowing them to harness their power without losing their compassion. As they continued to train and build their bonds, new threats loomed on the horizon. One sunny afternoon, while the Z Fighters were gathered at Capsule Corporation, they received a sudden and urgent message. Bulma, who had been monitoring the communications network, rushed into the room with a concerned expression. "Guys, we have a problem. There's a massive energy source approaching Earth, and it's not friendly." Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Gine immediately sprang into action, following Bulma to the control room to assess the situation. On the monitor, they saw an enormous spacecraft descending from the sky. The energy irradiating from the ship was unlike anything they had encountered before, and a feeling of unease washed over them. Bulma tapped away at the controls, scanning the approaching vessel. "This is bad. The energy readings are off the charts, and it's unlike any technology we've seen on Earth." Goku's eyes narrowed as he observed the spacecraft. "We need to be ready for anything. Gine, can you sense anything about the occupants of that ship?" Gine focused her senses and closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them, her face was filled with concern. "I can sense multiple powerful energy sources on that ship, and they don't feel friendly at all." As the spacecraft touched down in a remote area, the Z Fighters gathered and prepared to confront the unknown threat. Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan stood at the forefront, while Piccolo and Gine flanked them. The ship's hatch slowly opened, and a group of formidable warriors emerged. They were tall, heavily armored, and carried advanced weaponry. Their faces were concealed by menacing helmets, making it impossible to discern their expressions or emotions. The leader of the group stepped forward, his voice amplified by the helmet. "We are the Galactic Enforcers, and we have come to claim this planet in the name of the Galactic Empire. Stand aside or be destroyed." Gine's eyes widened as she recognized the technology and the signature style of the Galactic Enforcers. They were a ruthless organization that had been known for conquering and plundering planets across the universe. Their arrival on Earth signaled a grave threat, and the Z Fighters were not willing to let it go unanswered. Goku stepped forward, his expression resolute. "You're not taking Earth. This is our home, and we'll defend it with everything we've got." The Galactic Enforcers wasted no time and launched their attack, their energy weapons unleashing devastating blasts. Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan quickly went on the offensive, their energy surging as they countered the onslaught. Gine and Piccolo also engaged in the battle, their combined power pushing back the invaders. The fight was intense, the skies filled with energy blasts and shockwaves. The Z fighters used the techniques and philosophies they had learned from Gine to balance their strength with control and compassion. They fought as a united front, each member supporting the others. As the battle raged on, Goku and Gohan sensed a familiar energy approaching from the distance. It was their friend Krillin, who had been alerted to the threat and had rushed to join the fight. Krillin's presence added to their strength, and the Z fighters continued to press their advantage. The leader of the Galactic enforcers, frustrated by the resistance he was encountering, activated a device on his armor, increasing his power significantly. He unleashed a barrage of energy attacks that threatened to overwhelm the Z fighters. Gine, seeing her comrades in danger, decided to step forward. She channeled her energy, drawing on the balance she had achieved between her Saiyan heritage and her humanity. With a determined expression, she unleashed a powerful and precise energy wave that neutralized the leader's attacks. The leader of the Galactic enforcers staggered back, clearly surprised by Gine's strength and control. "Who are you?" he demanded. Gine approached him with a calm and measured presence. "I am Gine, a Saiyan warrior who has found a different path. We will not let you harm Earth." The leader, seeing the determination in Gine's eyes, knew that this battle was not going in their favor. Reluctantly, he ordered a retreat, and the Galactic enforcers fled in their spacecraft, leaving Earth behind. The Z fighters stood victorious, their unity and their balanced approach to power having prevailed against the ruthless invaders. Gine turned to her friends and family, her heart filled with pride and gratitude. "We did it. Earth is safe." Goku smiled at his mother, a sense of pride and accomplishment in his eyes. "Thanks, Mom. Your teachings and your strength made a huge difference." The rest of the Z fighters expressed their appreciation for Gine's presence and her role in repelling the threat. The battle had not only demonstrated the power of their unity, but also reinforced their newfound perspectives on their Saiyan heritage. As the sun set over the battlefield, the Z fighters reflected on the events of the day. The arrival of the Galactic enforcers had been a stark reminder of the threats they might encounter in the universe. However, they also knew that their strength, balanced with compassion and unity, would allow them to face any challenge that came their way. After their victory against the Galactic enforcers, the Z fighters knew that they needed to continue training and growing stronger to face future threats. Gine's influence and the balanced approach they had adopted had proven effective, but they were well aware that more challenges awaited them in the universe. While the team gathered at Capsule Corporation to discuss their next steps, Gohan proposed a solution. "I think it's time we use the Hyperbolic Time Chamber," he suggested. "It's a place where we can train for an entire year in just one day. We can take our training to a whole new level." The Hyperbolic Time Chamber, also known as the Room of Spirit and Time, was a place of immense power and potential. It had been used in the past by Goku and Gohan to increase their strength significantly. The proposal was met with agreement and the decision was made to use the chamber. Gine, who had never experienced the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, was intrigued. She had heard stories of its power and she saw this as an opportunity to further strengthen herself and the rest of the Z fighters. "I'm ready to go, if you all are," she said. The Z fighters entered the chamber in pairs, as it could only accommodate 2 people at a time. Goku and Gine were the first to step inside, while Vegeta and Piccolo followed. Gohan and Krillin would go in later to make the most of their time. Inside the chamber, the world was a vast desolate landscape, shrouded in perpetual mist. The Z fighters were surrounded by a strange timeless ambience as they began their intense training. Goku and Gine wasted no time, pushing each other to their limits and beyond. The days passed within the chamber at an accelerated rate and the training became increasingly rigorous. Goku and Gine sparred, honed their techniques, and delved deeper into the philosophies Gine had shared. Their progress was palpable, their power increasing with each passing day. As Goku and Gine trained, they had the opportunity to deepen their mother-son bond. Gine shared more of her experiences as a Saiyan warrior and her time on the distant planet where she had lived after the destruction of planet Vegeta. Goku, in turn, talked about his life on Earth, his adventures, and the friends he had made. They discussed the importance of family, the value of their relationships, and the shared desire to protect the planet they loved. Outside the chamber, Vegeta and Piccolo trained relentlessly, their power levels soaring as well. They were determined to catch up to Goku's and Gine's increasing strength, not willing to be left behind. After a year had passed in the chamber, Goku and Gine emerged, their power vastly improved. They were greeted by a battle-hardened Vegeta and Piccolo, who had also made significant gains during their time inside the chamber. Gohan and Krillin entered next, prepared to take full advantage of their year's worth of training in a day. The cycle continued, with the Z fighters spending their time in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, emerging stronger and more unified each time. Their training inside the chamber allowed them to refine the balance between their Saiyan power and their earthly values. They found new ways to tap into their energy, to control their emotions, and to grow stronger without losing sight of their compassion and humanity. During one of their training sessions, Gine approached Goku, her expression serious. "Goku, I've been thinking. Well, we've made great progress, we need to be prepared for whatever challenges come our way. We can't just rely on our strength, we need a strategy." Goku nodded in agreement. "You're right, Mom. We need a plan, a way to tackle whatever threats we face." With their newfound strength and a strategic approach in mind, the Z fighters exited the hyperbolic time chamber. They gathered outside, their energy levels surging. They were prepared for the challenges that lay ahead, knowing that they had become a stronger and more united team. As they looked at the setting sun, Gine smiled at her fellow warriors. "We've grown so much, and we're ready for anything. But let's remember that our strength lies not only in our abilities, but in the bonds we share and the balance we've achieved. That's what will make us truly unbeatable." The Z fighters, renewed and strengthened, shared a moment of camaraderie. They were ready to face the universe's challenges with their newfound perspective and unity. The hyperbolic time chamber had allowed them to evolve as warriors, and their journey was far from over. With their newfound strength and unity, the Z fighters remained vigilant, knowing that the universe held countless threats. It wasn't long before a new danger emerged, one that would test their resolve and their balanced approach to power. One day, as they trained at Capsule Corporation, a distressing report came in. Dr. Briefs, the brilliant scientist and owner of the facility, entered the training area with a grave expression. "I've been monitoring some unusual energy readings. There are androids approaching Earth, and they're unlike anything we've seen before." The Z fighters immediately sprang into action, their concern growing with each passing moment. Gine, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, and the others gathered to discuss the threat and formulate a plan. Gine turned to Dr. Briefs. "Can you give us any more information about these androids? Where are they coming from, and what are their intentions?" Dr. Briefs nodded and pulled up a holographic display of the approaching androids. "We have limited data, but we know they are coming from a distant location in the universe. Their intentions remain unknown, but their energy signatures are unlike any we've ever encountered. They're incredibly powerful." The Z fighters exchanged concerned glances, realizing that the androids posed a significant threat. Gine turned to her comrades. "We need to be prepared for anything. Our strength, our unity, and the balance we've achieved will be our greatest assets." The Z fighters spent their days intensifying their training and honing their skills. Gine, Goku, and Vegeta continued to push their limits while emphasizing the importance of control and compassion. Gohan, Krillin, and the others followed suit, focusing on mastering their techniques and enhancing their teamwork. As they trained, Gine couldn't help but notice a shift in Vegeta. He had come a long way from the prideful and ruthless Saiyan prince she had first encountered. He had found a balance between his Saiyan heritage and his connections on Earth, and this newfound perspective had made him a more compassionate and focused warrior. One evening, as they wrapped up their training, Vegeta approached Gine, his expression less guarded than before. "Gine, I want to thank you for showing me a different path. I've realized that there's more to strength than brute force. I'm ready to protect Earth, not just for my pride, but for the people I care about." Gine smiled at Vegeta's admission. "I'm glad to see the change in you, Vegeta. Your growth and your perspective are inspiring." With their training complete, the Z fighters set out to confront the approaching androids. As they arrived at the location indicated by Dr. Briefs, they were met with an eerie sight, a desolate wasteland with no signs of life. The androids had yet to arrive, but their energy signatures loomed on the horizon. The androids emerged from the distance, their robotic and emotionless expressions, a stark contrast to the determined faces of the Z fighters. The androids, known as Android 19 and Android 20, were equipped with advanced technology and powerful energy absorption capabilities. Goku and Vegeta stepped forward to face the androids, their energy surging as they powered up. The battle began, with Goku and Vegeta taking on Android 19, while the others remained vigilant, ready to intervene if needed. The androids proved to be formidable opponents, their energy absorption abilities making them a unique threat. Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly, but Android 19's energy-draining attacks took a toll on them. Gine, Gohan, Piccolo, and the others watched with growing concern, knowing that the balance they had achieved would be put to the test. In the heat of battle, Vegeta was overwhelmed by Android 19, his energy being drained rapidly. As his strength waned, Gine stepped forward, her power surging as she unleashed a devastating energy wave. The attack struck Android 19, forcing it to release Vegeta and retreat in critical condition. Goku rushed to Vegeta's side, concern in his eyes. "You okay, Vegeta?" Vegeta nodded, albeit begrudgingly. "Thanks, Gine. You saved my hide. I suppose I still have much to learn." The battle with the androids continued, with Gine and the other Z fighters giving their all. Android 20, however, managed to escape, leaving the Z fighters with more questions than answers. Back at Capsule Corporation, the Z-Fighters regrouped, tending to their injuries and reflecting on the battle. Gine turned to Dr. Briefs. Do we have any information on the androids' origins or their motives? Dr. Briefs shook his head. I couldn't find any information on their origins or their goals. But their technology is advanced, and we'll need to be prepared for their return. Gine nodded, her mind focused on the challenge they faced. We'll continue training and strengthening our bonds. We need to be ready for whatever comes next. The android threat had tested the Z-Fighters, but they had faced it with their newfound perspective on strength and their balanced approach to power. As they looked to the future, they knew that more challenges awaited them, and their unity and determination would be their greatest assets. The battle against androids 19 and 20 had revealed a new level of threat that the Z-Fighters needed to prepare for. The relentless pursuit of power balanced with compassion had become their hallmark, and they continued their training in anticipation of the androids' return. However, a new and even more menacing figure would soon emerge on the scene. Dr. Jiro, the creator of the androids, had unleashed his ultimate creation, Cell, a bioengineered being with the ability to absorb androids and achieve an unprecedented level of power. As the Z-Fighters trained and remained vigilant, Gohan and Goku took some time to relax by fishing together. It was during one of these serene moments that a sudden announcement on television sent shockwaves through the world. A breaking news report showed Cell, a menacing creature resembling an insect, as he terrorized a city. His immense power and ruthless demeanor struck fear into the hearts of humanity. Cell proclaimed his intent to absorb androids 17 and 18 to reach his perfect form. The Z-Fighters, well aware of the danger Cell posed, wasted no time and gathered at Capsule Corporation. They knew that they had to confront this new threat, but they also recognized the importance of staying true to their values and their balanced approach to power. Gine turned to her comrades. We're facing a formidable enemy, but we must remember our perspective on strength and unity. We'll protect Earth and its people. With determination in their hearts, the Z-Fighters set out to face Cell. They knew that their training and their balanced approach would be crucial in this battle. Goku, Gine, and Vegeta took the lead as they confronted Cell, their energy surging as they powered up. Gohan, Piccolo, Krillin, and the others joined the fray, ready to support their fellow warriors. The battle was intense, with Cell showcasing his incredible speed and power. Goku and Gine were the first to engage him, demonstrating their improved strength and control. As the fight continued, Gohan, fueled by his determination to protect Earth, joined his parents, unleashing his power with newfound control. Cell, despite his formidable abilities, began to face a united and determined front. The Z-Fighters worked together, each member playing a crucial role in the battle. Their balanced approach to power allowed them to push their limits without losing sight of their compassion. Gine's strength, especially, was a testament to the growth she had achieved during her time on Earth. She fought alongside Goku and Vegeta, showcasing her skill in battle and her unwavering resolve. During the battle, Gohan sensed the intense power within him, a combination of his Saiyan heritage and his human values. He unleashed a powerful Kamehameha wave, which pushed Cell to the brink, forcing him to regurgitate Android 18, reverting to his previous form. However, Cell had one last desperate plan. He initiated a self-destruct sequence in a bid to destroy Earth. Goku, recognizing the imminent danger, acted swiftly. He teleported Cell to King Kai's planet, sacrificing himself to save Earth and its people. The Z-Fighters watched in shock as the explosion engulfed the distant planet, realizing that Goku had made the ultimate sacrifice. Gine, too, felt a deep sense of loss, knowing that her son had paid the price to protect Earth. As the dust settled and the surviving Z-Fighters regrouped, Gine turned to the others. Goku's sacrifice was immense, and we'll honor his memory by continuing to protect Earth. We're stronger and more united than ever. The loss of Goku weighed heavily on the Z-Fighters, but they remained determined to carry on his legacy. They knew that their journey was far from over, and they had to face new challenges with the values and perspective they had embraced. Meanwhile, on King Kai's planet, Goku was greeted by King Kai and the otherworldly beings. Goku's sacrifice had saved Earth, but it had come at a great cost. The Z-Fighters mourned his loss, but they also held on to the lessons he had taught them and the balanced approach to power that he had exemplified. As the Z-Fighters returned to Earth, they were faced with the task of rebuilding and moving forward without their beloved friend. Gine, as a mother, knew the depth of her son's sacrifice, but also understood that Goku's spirit would live on in their hearts. Gine, Vegeta, Gohan, and the others continued their training, pushing their limits in Goku's memory. They were more determined than ever to uphold the perspective on strength and unity that had guided them on their journey. The loss of Goku marked a turning point in the story as the Z-Fighters confronted the formidable foe, Cell, and experienced the devastating sacrifice that saved Earth. Gine and her fellow warriors would have to navigate the challenges that lay ahead without their beloved friend while holding on to the balanced approach to power that had become their guiding principle. As the Z fighters continued to train and protect Earth following Goku's sacrifice, they knew that the universe held countless threats. Their unwavering unity and the balanced approach to power that they had embraced remained their guiding principles. However, a new and seemingly unstoppable menace would soon arrive on the scene. Majin Buu, a powerful and malevolent creature born from dark magic. Buu's arrival would test the Z fighters in ways they had never imagined, challenging their strength and their values. It all began when the Supreme Kai, a divine being who watched over the universe, arrived on Earth with urgent news. He had sensed the emergence of a dangerous power, and he explained the existence of an ancient sorcerer named Babidi, who had created Majin Buu as a weapon of destruction. The Supreme Kai and the Z fighters joined forces to confront this new threat. They followed the Supreme Kai to the planet of the Supreme Case, a place of great power and mysticism. There, they encountered Babidi, who was attempting to resurrect Majin Buu. The battle against Babidi and his minions was fierce, and the Z fighters had to tap into their newfound strength and unity to hold their own. Gine, Goku, Vegeta, and the others fought valiantly, with their balanced approach to power, allowing them to face the dark magic with control and determination. As the battle raged on, Babidi succeeded in resurrecting Majin Buu. The creature emerged from its cocoon, a pink rotund figure with immense power and a childlike demeanor. However, beneath Buu's innocent appearance lay a destructive and unpredictable force. The Z fighters were faced with the daunting task of confronting Majin Buu, an adversary unlike any they had encountered before. His power, coupled with his unpredictable nature, made him a formidable foe. Gine and the others fought desperately to contain Majin Buu, but they soon realized that defeating him was an almost insurmountable challenge. Buu's regenerative abilities allowed him to recover from almost any injury, making it difficult to wear him down. As the battle continued, Gine's heart ached as she witnessed the destruction caused by Majin Buu. She knew that Earth and its people were in grave danger, and she couldn't help but think of Goku, who had made the ultimate sacrifice to protect the planet. Vegeta, too, felt a deep sense of frustration as he watched Buu's power seemingly grow without bounds. He had come a long way on his path of transformation and balance, but Buu's existence was a reminder of the immense challenges that still lay ahead. In a moment of desperation, Vegeta made the decision to confront Majin Buu alone, fully aware of the power at his disposal. He engaged Buu in battle, pushing himself to the limit and sacrificing himself to save Earth. It was a powerful act of redemption for Vegeta, as he atoned for his past actions and the destruction he had caused. Gine and the other Z fighters were left to deal with the aftermath of Vegeta's sacrifice. Majin Buu had survived the battle, and they knew that the threat was far from over. The loss of Vegeta weighed heavily on their hearts, but it also served as a reminder of the need to confront adversity with their values and their balanced approach to power. As they faced Majin Buu, they recognized the importance of unity and the power of their bonds. Gohan, in particular, displayed a remarkable growth in strength and control, tapping into his potential as a warrior and a protector of Earth. Gine, too, showcased her unwavering determination and strength as she fought alongside her fellow warriors. The lessons she had learned and the values she held dear guided her actions as she faced the relentless menace of Majin Buu. The battle against Buu was an arduous and emotional one, with the Z fighters risking their lives to protect Earth and its people. They knew that their journey was far from over, and they were prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead with their balanced approach to power and their unwavering unity. As they fought on, Gine and the others held on to the memory of Goku and Vegeta, who had made the ultimate sacrifices to protect the planet they loved. Their legacies served as a source of inspiration and a reminder of the values and the perspective that would guide them in their ongoing battle against Majin Buu. The battle against Majin Buu had been a grueling and emotional one, testing the Z fighters in ways they had never imagined. They had faced loss, sacrifice, and overwhelming challenges, all while holding on to their balanced approach to power and their unwavering unity. In the end, they had emerged victorious, but not without scars and a deep sense of understanding. With Majin Buu defeated and the world saved, the Z fighters returned to Earth, where they were celebrated as heroes. Gine, Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, and the others had not only protected the planet, but had also exemplified the power of unity and a balanced perspective on strength. The years that followed were marked by a period of relative peace and tranquility. Earth had been restored, and the Z fighters continued their training and remained vigilant, ever ready to confront new threats. Gine, who had become a beloved member of the team, found solace and fulfillment in her role as a protector of Earth. She had not only strengthened her bond with her son Goku, but had also forged deep connections with Gohan, Vegeta, and the others. During this time of peace, Gine continued to share her insights and training techniques with the Z fighters, emphasizing the importance of control, compassion, and unity. Her influence had become an integral part of their collective philosophy, serving as a reminder of the values that guided their actions. Gohan, in particular, had embraced his role as a protector of Earth, utilizing his strength and control to maintain peace and order. His balanced approach to power allowed him to lead by example, inspiring others to do the same. One day, as Gohan trained in the forest, he was joined by Jine, who had witnessed his growth and dedication. She smiled at her friend and student. "Gohan, you've come a long way. Your father and I are proud of the person you've become." Gohan nodded with gratitude. "I've learned so much from both of you. Our values and the balanced approach to power have become a part of who I am." As the years went by, Jine and the Z-Fighters enjoyed moments of camaraderie and downtime. They celebrated birthdays, shared meals, and continued to strengthen their bonds. These peaceful years were a welcome respite from the constant threats they had faced. Vegeta, who had experienced significant growth in his character and strength, found a sense of belonging among the Z-Fighters. His transformation from a prideful Saiyan prince to a protector of Earth had brought him closer to Jine and the others, and he had learned the importance of valuing his connections. One evening, as Vegeta joined the Z-Fighters for a meal, he exchanged a rare moment of vulnerability with Jine. "Jine, I've come a long way from the person I once was. Your influence and the values you've shown me have made me a better warrior." Jine regarded Vegeta with warmth. "Vegeta, we all have our pasts and our struggles. What's important is that we learn and grow from them. Your transformation has been inspiring to witness." The peace on Earth was not without its challenges, as the Z-Fighters continued to train and improve their abilities. They knew that the universe held unpredictable threats, and they were determined to remain vigilant. As Jine and the others maintained their focus on control and unity, they found a sense of purpose and fulfillment in their roles as protectors of Earth. Their strength, balanced with their values, had allowed them to create a world where peace and cooperation flourished. During this time of peace, they welcomed new additions to their family, as Gohan married Videl and had a daughter named Pan. The next generation of fighters was being raised with the same values and the balanced approach to power that had guided their predecessors. The peaceful years allowed Jine to reflect on her journey and the bond she had formed with her fellow warriors. She had come to Earth seeking her son, but had found much more: a family, a purpose, and a profound connection with the values that guided her actions. However, the tranquility of these years was soon disrupted by a new threat that would test the Z-Fighters once again. An ancient evil had awakened, and it threatened to bring chaos and destruction to the world. As Jine and her comrades prepared to face this new challenge, they understood that their perspective on strength and unity would be crucial. The peaceful years had allowed them to grow and connect on a deeper level, and their unwavering commitment to their values would guide them through the trials that lay ahead. The Z-Fighters, guided by their balanced perspective on strength and unity, had faced countless challenges over the years, protecting Earth from various threats. As they trained and bonded, they became a family, strengthened by their shared values and the teachings of Jine, Goku, and the legacy they had left behind. As time passed, Jine had become an integral part of this family, not only as a warrior, but as a mentor, friend, and mother figure. Her presence and influence had left an indelible mark on the Z-Fighters, helping them grow and evolve as protectors of Earth. However, the tranquility of their lives was once again disrupted as a new threat emerged, one that would test the very essence of their balanced approach to power. A powerful enemy, known as Moro, had appeared on the scene. Moro was a fearsome sorcerer who possessed the ability to absorb the energy of planets and living beings, leaving them devastated and lifeless. His malevolence threatened not only Earth but the entire universe. The Z-Fighters knew that they had to confront this new adversary, and they gathered to discuss a plan of action. Jine, Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, and the others were prepared to face Moro, but they also understood that this battle would require all of their strength, unity, and the values that had become their hallmark. They set out to confront Moro, who was wreaking havoc on a distant planet. As they arrived, they witnessed the destruction and devastation left in his wake. The people of the planet had suffered greatly, and the Z-Fighters were determined to put an end to Moro's reign of terror. The battle against Moro was intense and challenging. He unleashed powerful energy attacks and displayed his ability to absorb their energy, making it difficult for the Z-Fighters to maintain the upper hand. But they fought with unwavering determination, their balanced approach to power allowing them to tap into their potential. As they engaged Moro in battle, Jine felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination. She had come to Earth seeking her son, but she had found a family, a community, and a cause worth fighting for. Her journey had led her to embrace a balanced perspective on strength and the values that guided her actions. Throughout the battle, Jine and the Z-Fighters worked together, supporting each other and never losing sight of their mission to protect Earth and the universe. Their unity and the lessons they had learned were their greatest assets in facing Moro's destructive power. As the battle raged on, Gohan, fueled by his desire to protect the innocent, unleashed his full power, overwhelming Moro with his control and determination. With a powerful Kamehameha wave, he incapacitated Moro, ending the threat he posed to the universe. The victory over Moro was a testament to the Z-Fighters' unwavering commitment to their values and the balanced perspective on strength that had become their guiding principle. Gine, Goku, and the legacy they had left behind had played a vital role in shaping the team into the protectors they had become. After the battle, as the Z fighters returned to Earth, they were greeted with relief and gratitude. The people of the distant planet, once devastated by Moro, celebrated their saviors and expressed their deep appreciation. The Z fighters, however, understood that their journey was far from over. The universe held endless challenges and threats, and they would continue to protect Earth with their values, unity, and the balanced approach to power that had brought them this far. Gine turned to her friends and fellow warriors, a sense of fulfillment and pride in her heart. We've faced yet another formidable threat and emerged victorious. Our journey is a testament to the power of unity and a balanced perspective on strength. As the days passed, Gine, Goku, and the Z fighters continued their training, always ready to face new challenges. The legacy they had built, the lessons they had learned, and the bonds they had formed served as a source of inspiration and strength. During this time of relative peace, Gine, Goku, and their fellow warriors shared moments of camaraderie, reflecting on the journey that had brought them together. They celebrated milestones, birthdays, and the bonds that had been forged through years of training and battles. One sunny afternoon, Gine and her friends gathered at Capsule Corporation, a place that had become a second home to them. They shared stories, laughter, and a sense of camaraderie that only a group of warriors who had faced the universe's greatest challenges could understand. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over their gathering, Gine turned to her friends and spoke from the heart. We've come a long way, my friends. Our journey has been marked by challenges, victories, and the values that have guided us. But we've also found family, purpose, and a legacy worth protecting. The Z fighters, reflecting on their journey and the bonds they had formed, nodded in agreement. They knew that their path as protectors of Earth would continue, and they were prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead with their balanced perspective on strength and their unwavering unity. The peaceful years had allowed them to grow, bond, and embrace the values that had become their guiding principle. As they looked to the future, they were filled with a sense of purpose and determination, ready to protect Earth and the universe with a legacy that Gine, Goku, and their fellow warriors had built. And so, their journey continued, guided by their unwavering commitment to the balanced approach to power and the values that had shaped their lives. Gine, Goku, and the Z fighters were prepared to face whatever challenges the universe had in store, united by their purpose and their legacy. End of the here. So how was this story? I hope you like it. And if you like it, share this story with your friends and like the video too. And don't forget to subscribe our channel for daily awesome fanfiction. Okay, it's time for me to go. Bye bye.